Layne Norton says carnivore is a cult. In fact, anything he doesn't believe in, that's nutritional religion. He is, of course, above all that, just a humble servant of the science, following the data, no bias, no dogma. Today, we're going to take a look at Layne's own words. So grab your steak, maybe your rosary beads, and let's dig in. Okay, so Layne is sick of wacko conspiracy theories. Ever notice how, no matter what someone's nutritional religion is, they all say stuff like, they want to keep you sick, or this is the info they don't want you to know. I'm sorry, but get the over yourselves. Okay, wow. You ain't getting in on any secret that no one else has. Is that English? Are scientists, government, and big pharma fallible? You bet your ass they are. Personally, I think government makes many things worse, but do I think they purposely try to make people sick? No. Government, big pharma, and the scientific community are made up of people. People like you and me. And we're going to get to why Layne is a little bit misled in a moment. Some good, some bad, and most somewhere in between. Most are trying to do the right thing, but we often screw it up, and all of them have their own motivations. Okay, but just stop it with this idea that they are hiding a cure for major diseases. Who said they're hiding a cure for major diseases? I assume that you think anyone that thinks that, big pharma is a profit-making business and they're out to make profit, and that's the whole purpose, you assume they're conspiracy theorists, right? That's the vibe I'm getting from this. So I don't think people are saying they're hiding a cure for diseases. Okay, we'll come back to that. Am I saying the government has never screwed up or tried to cover things up? Absolutely not. I would be a fool to suggest that. But most times it's due to incompetence or just old-fashioned F-ups. Who amongst us has not screwed things up? But let's just say scientists were just hiding a cure for cancer. Could you pay some of them to be quiet? Sure, I guess. But many people, like someone is tagged, got into cancer research because they have a love for one who has cancer or lost a loved one to cancer. In Joe's case, his mum. But you really think there's an amount of money that would keep every scientist who does cancer research quiet? Come on. Okay, so here's the problem with your post, Layne. The problem is that you're focused on an area where I think the people you call conspiracy theorists are not actually focused, right? I don't see a lot of people posting about there's a cure for all these diseases, they're just hiding them. I think it's more that you're seeing people post things like these diseases exist because of various reasons. For example, ultra-processed food, and Big Pharma likes it that way because then they can focus on creating cures for those diseases. That's typically what the kind of thing that most people are saying, not that they're hiding all these cures. I don't think anyone thinks they're hiding a cure for diabetes. I mean, and the cure is right in front of everyone's face. Stop eating sugar. Stop eating the stuff that becomes sugar. Now, he talks about people. And he talks about how, there's not this vast number of people hiding a cure for a particular disease like cancer. And I would agree with that. It makes no sense that there would be a whole swath of people all hiding a cancer cure because they've been told to or because they're making money by hiding it some way. That makes no sense. But here's the thing that Layne is ignoring. When a scientist or a medical rep or anyone works for a pharmaceutical company or any organization, that person, that employee has to align their thinking and what they do day to day with the mission of the organization. And that mission is not nefarious. The mission of most organizations is to make money. And so they have to align their strategy for working within that organization with that goal. And to align with that goal, they basically have to do their job as the job description said. So if they have to look for a cure for a particular condition, or they have to do some kind of research for the pharmaceutical company that's going to lead to a cure or a treatment or something down the road, then that's what they do. Imagine if a scientist or a researcher had an epiphany one day and they thought to themselves, you know what? Type 2 diabetes is a condition where the body has lost the ability to properly control the blood sugar. And, if the issue is all about sugar, then maybe if we took sugar out of the diet, then everyone would get better. That could happen. There could be a lot of researchers that know that already. There could be a lot of scientists that realize that already. The issue is, it doesn't matter what they think, what they feel, or what they would like to be the case. They're employed by a pharmaceutical company or some other organization and siloed into a project where they're told, this is what you're doing for the next 6 months. You're researching this compound. You're looking for something that might treat this particular condition. You're looking at this experimental drug that we think is going to be able to control people's blood sugar. Whatever it is, they're in this silo working on this project, doing this research. And this is what your post completely misses, Layne. No one's hiding anything. Everyone's just going about their lives doing their job. Everyone has a mortgage to pay. Everyone has kids to educate. Everyone has food they need to put on the table. So far, your post doesn't really make any sense. It's a post to virtue signal about something, or to virtue signal about how you're so clever and everyone else is so dumb because they're in a cult. Anyway, reading on. Yes, there are bad studies. Yes, some studies are fabricated. But that's why replication is the mother of all scientific research and why we look at the consensus of the data. Okay, so the few words here. So that's why replication is the mother of all scientific research. Okay, but how many studies can actually be replicated? Because that is science, I agree, but how many studies could be replicated? Go into nutrition. How many of those studies could be replicated? 0. Because it's all based on recall and food frequency questionnaires. And then the other word you've highlighted here is consensus. And consensus means agreement. And agreement, to me, doesn't mean science. It just means that agreement to me, consensus or agreement to me means negotiation. And negotiation is not science. That's like saying English or Japanese is science. It's not. It's language. Consensus is agreement. Consensus is negotiation. Consensus has got nothing to do with science. And he finishes off, as Bob Marley said, you can fool some people some of the time, but you can't fool all of the people all of the time. Interesting. Okay, Dr. Layne Norton. I saw this post come up today, and after going through it, I feel like it's not really saying anything, or it's not addressing anything about the real world. But those are my thoughts. I'd love to hear what you think in the comments below. And if you want to discover how we got here, check out this video next.